Disappearing for 13 years, your identity erased, and your life rewritten. Sounds scary, right? This is the story of Julian Hernandez, a bright-eyed teenager who was snatched away from his loving mother at the tender age of 5 by someone he should have been able to trust. This is a story of deception, a life lived in the shadows, and a shocking twist that took 13 long years to unfold. This story takes us to Vestavia Hills, a serene suburb located in the rolling hills of Birmingham, Alabama. A city rich in history and charm where a seemingly ordinary life would soon become an extraordinary mystery. This picture-perfect town is well known for its lovely neighborhoods and vibrant streets, where life moves at a pace slower than the hustle and bustle of the city. But beneath this deceitful, peaceful scene awaits a story which will send shivers down your spine. Julian Hernandez was no ordinary boy. He had a keen curiosity that was only matched by his attractive smile. And at 5 years old, he was the epitome of youthful innocence, his eyes full of wonder and his heart full of dreams. He was a delight to be around because of his charming combination of warmth and passion in personality. But this young guy had no idea that his life was about to take a terrifying turn, a turn of events that would confuse even the most seasoned investigators. Julian's father, Bobby Hernandez, was more than just a man with a dark agenda. He was the very architect of this unthinkable crime. In the eyes of society, he was just an ordinary guy, a father who had once been part of a family that had fallen apart. But what no one could imagine was the extent to which he would go to avoid his past mistakes. August 2002, a day that began like any other, with the sun rising over the quiet streets of Vestavia Hills. Julian, at the tender age of 5, was simply going about his childhood routine, blissfully unaware of the storm that was about to enter his life. Imagine the heart-wrenching scene. In their safe space, their home, a note left for Julian's mother by his father that he had left and taken Julian with him. A father snatching his son away from the loving arms of his mother. Julian's mother reported her child missing when his father, Bobby, failed to take him to preschool and instead took money out of their bank account and disappeared. Julian's mother frantically reporting her son's disappearance led to a nationwide search being launched. But what she didn't know was that Julian's abductor, his own father, was on the run, crisscrossing the country to avoid authorities. Bobby was not just any criminal. He was a man who had made a detailed plan to vanish into the shadows, taking Julian with him. At the time of Julian's abduction, Bobby and Julian's mother were living in an apartment within the Vestavia Park apartments. But according to authorities, it was not clear if they were already married at the time Julian disappeared. Bobby became the main suspect in the kidnapping from the very moment that Julian went missing. The days turned into weeks, the weeks into months, and the months into years. But Julian remained untraceable, and with every passing moment, the weight of distress grew heavier on his mother's heart. As the world kept turning, Julian's life took a drastically different course. A new identity, forged documents, and a life built on lies awaited him. All masterminded by the person he should have trusted the most. For 13 long years, Julian Hernandez lived under a false name, completely unaware of his true identity. He grew up believing he was someone else entirely, and his past was buried beneath layers of lies. Fast forward to 2015, when Julian, now 18, was preparing for college. A major breakthrough took place. Something didn't add up. His social security number didn't match the life he had known. When he started his college application process, he ran into issues with his social security number, which made him realize he was a missing person. His world was rocked by the realization that the person he thought he had been for years was a fake. Determined to uncover the truth, Julian started on a journey that would change his life forever. With the help of a school counselor, he reached out to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Whilst Julian sought advice from the counselor at school, his appeal for help on Reddit gained attention from worried people all around the world. Julian requested help from the internet community in his search for solutions and direction. He posted an emotional plea anonymously on the well-known internet discussion board and asked for help and advice. In the Reddit message, Julian told his story, detailing the circumstances of his kidnapping and the years he spent hiding his true identity. He revealed an unexpected lack of hatred towards his father, recalling Bobby asking him, "If I had ever done an awful crime, will you still love me?" Even after discovering the scale of his father's dishonesty and the chaos it had generated, Julian's unwavering affection for his father remained. However, the complicated nature of Julian's situation was made clear in his message, as well as his will to fix the faked records that had affected his academic objectives. In order to give himself a fair opportunity of receiving scholarships and continuing his study, he indicated the intention to change his academic records and social security number. Julian's statements also expressed his desire to see his father out of jail. Eventually, the authorities learned of the widespread interest and took appropriate action. The investigation was greatly helped by the Reddit message, which caused the search operations to take an unexpected route. In order to verify the boy's identification, the agency collaborated with Alabama police and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. It was also believed that the counselor, from whom Julian sought guidance, had informed law authorities about the message. Julian Hernandez, who had been missing for 13 years, was finally found in Cleveland, Ohio under the fake name Jonathan Mangina. However, the emotional reunion with his mother was bittersweet. Julian had grown up in a world completely different from the one he was born into. He had a new family, a new name. He was now known as Jonathan Mangina. His life had been shaped by a web of lies spun by his own father, who was later charged with kidnapping, interfering with custody, fifth-degree criminal forgery, and records tampering on November 24, 2015. He was charged with messing with and falsifying documents, including his son's birth certificate, in order to enroll him in school, as well as his very own driver's license and car title. On April 13th, Bobby was given a 4-year prison sentence in Ohio. Julian's return to his real family marked the beginning of a journey of healing and adjustment. His mother's emotions were all over the place after learning her baby had been found after 13 years. Julian's return home had flooded her heart.